Meow. 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 Oh, we're live? Fantastic. Meow. Oh, we're live? Fantastic. Meow. That is okay. I'm also getting feedback, just so you know. Okay, I'm also getting like I can hear myself.
Yeah.
I can hear myself. But hello. Welcome. We are here once again. PlusFramesGG at
Awaited fate.
At Awaited Fate.
Memento Mori.
Exactly. Awaited Fate. Memento Mori. We are here and having a fantastic time.
Yeah.
I am so excited to be here. I am Jadelyn once again, and this is...
I am also Jadelyn, according to
Oh,
the
yes,
naming
this is true. Our names are flipped.
Yeah,
So-
I am Tabby. We're here back on for now for some Undernight. We on the other side of the French bread coin here.
Yes,
at,
the other side.
At Awaited Fate. But yeah, we've got a. It's been a long day. You know, this is sort of the final stretch of everything.
Exactly.
But we've got an exciting top 8 coming up through. So I know on our winner side, it looks like we are going to have Knots versus DFAxCalamity. And then we are having brkrdave versus, it's Grant, right? F6ZQYGETI. Yeah.
A lot going on
A
there
lot
in that
going
entire
on.
thing. But brkrdave just coming off of a number 2 in two different Blazblues.
Yep, getting number 2 to Jonah, who got first in 3 games tonight.
That Jonah. Great to see him back out and playing,
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, I haven't seen him since like CEO Otaku, so it's been
it's been a little bit. He and I caught up a bit. He's finishing up his master's degree.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah, which is really cool. Why we haven't seen him as much. So congratulations to him on the final stretch of that. But also congratulations to the number 1 in Blazblue Continuum Shift Extend and Blazblue Central Fiction and in Persona.
Yep.
Good Lord. Just winning all of the things. But we are getting everybody set up here.
Yeah, and we're still waiting on a couple of the losers matches to finish. We do have Raiden confirmed in on the loser side.
Yes, that's going to be great. Very excited for that.
It looks like we have Spectro and Nico May are playing each other, so we don't know the result of that yet, but it's got about 15-ish minutes, so should be almost done soon.
Yes.
LPT and Henjin are playing each other, and then we've got a couple people towards the bottom of the end, but there's a chance that we get Shitani back in, because the Shitani and Bored-erlands have to play each other.
Right.
And the winner of that plays JO1.
This is brutal.
This is brutal.
This is such a brutal bracket. Very excited to have this, though. So Uni 2 came out very end of January, right on the heels of, a lot of excitement and things like that. It's been very well received by the community. The changes, I think, have been very positive. There were more universal mechanics added into this game. I think for me, it's notable, but one of the things that changed, it was such a small change and yet so large, is the Vorpal cycle is now 2 seconds shorter.
Yes.
And until you know that, you're like, wait, holy crap, this is massive.
Yeah, it is one of those things that I think if you are someone from an outside lens, like you look at things like, oh, they made this thing 2 seconds shorter. Surely that can't mean that much. But with how much the Vorpal cycle is like present in so many different aspects of different characters, just core game plans and with especially with like certain characters who have then like really pushed forward, like new like parts of their toolkits that cost a lot of grid. Wagner, for example, is a character who has access to a bunch of new moves, but they cost grid.
Exactly.
And then so that grid, like you're then losing that, but gaining better like rewards in the neutral game. It's a whole crazy mess. But yeah, Uni 2 has been very, very exciting. I think it is, like you said, a generally well-received version of the game. I've heard no major complaints about the balance or portions of like that. And the game's too complex and there's so much going on that it's kind of hard to make a very early decision.
Yes, I completely agree. There's just so much that goes on and there's so much to unpack in the game, which I think is great. And, so there's only been 3 characters so far that have been added, but so many characters got additions to their toolkits. Byakuya with all of his new double downs. There's some really neat combo routes that he's got. There's just, and Nanase has some new stuff, which is fun. The disc, man, that just can totally mess you up. But then you have your new characters. You have, Kaguya, Tsurugi, you've got Kuon. very notable players playing that character as well. Masoma is on Kuon, which I know is not here, but like, it's cool to talk about these players who've picked up the new characters and how they've done. Laundrekia with his new just like half sheets.
Laundrekia feels like a new character.
Laundrekia feels completely new.
Yeah. Like it's kind of crazy how different this game is as well.
It is.
Like I was a little worried when Uni 2 was coming around. That it's like, oh, is this going to be Uni 2?
Right.
Is it going to be like, are they going to try to diverge from the plan of like what the like ideas of Uni are? Are they gonna like not make enough changes where it just feels like another like small update, like what Claire was?
Right.
But with how like large everything is, not from system levels to individual characters to just general game feel as a whole, it's been really interesting, and I'm very happy that it's in this state right now.
Me too. Coming from Clear. And then going into this, I feel like a lot of things got ironed out. Gameplay itself is much smoother. Of course, we have to celebrate the rollback netcode because it is so accessible to play online now. I often talk about how I play the game in the middle of the day because I often stream it. And middle of the day for me is 10 a.m. West Coast.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting match after match. I played a couple of community members of mine in Germany this past week. And it felt pretty much flawless.
Yep.
And that, I think, speaks a lot to it.
Being someone on the West Coast, I've played a couple of the West Coast to Japan connections. And while, it's 170, 150 milliseconds, it's not going to be perfect. It is far better than almost every other alternative that we have.
I totally agree.
As well as other quality of life features like replay takeover, which
Oh my gosh.
The amount of times I don't know how to deal with that. And then you replay takeover and you go, I know how to deal with that.
Because it gives you the opportunity to learn.
Yes.
It gives you a chance to really see and break down the elements of the game. And also, I do think, the way they did the mission mode this time is much more effective and much better about teaching you real combo routes as well. Compared to previous things.
Yeah, it was always pretty effective, but it was especially with Claire, it was outdated.
Yes. So this is losers round 4. So getting to catch a little bit of this before we get into top 8. So this is LPT and NDK.
Okay, yeah. And now I'm glad we get a Wagner over here because this is the character I've spent the most time with. This character has access to now 6.6FF, which is being a very, very important tool in her toolkit. I don't know how much of LPT will be using it, just because if you're not like super grinding the game, it can be kind of hard to acknowledge in certain situations. But here we see Hedjin trying to go for Byakuya setup, just sets with a simple 2-up, but still hits with a max range force function right there.
Yeah, Byakuya's force function when you use it that way is so great. And then now you have the web setups and things like that. Corner, you just have to be so careful because if you hit Byakuya, you get rid of all of that, which that was a really great veil off to eliminate all of the spider webs. You're going to be able to, you're going to be able to die.
Yeah, you have to be very careful versus Byakuya, especially as Wagner, as his buttons are going to kind of cut at farther ranges than yours. While being a frame or two slower, it can be kind of hard to punish him for it. So if you're not on point, they can really take advantage of it. Here we go, though. Hedjin setting up the 1-2-3, but a nice use of creeping shield right there because they just went for a meaty 2-2A and was able to just escape out of the corner situation. But Hedjin want to bring some right back.
Oh, the spider web was so well set up. LPT wasn't able to get out of that. Now you've got the rest of the setup here, and look at all the grid they have. There's so many opportunities, and then gosh, that is such a great button. You're going to be able to just fill up the entire screen, and LPT just didn't have a chance. I think that was a perfect. Oh, wait, were our names switched? They were.
They were, okay.
LPT is our Byakuya.
Yeah, well, LPT, then, they're looking great.
LPT be doing great, then.
All right, pick it up. Okay, so Hedjin does have the 6-6FF reps down, which is, very important. You can see she's dealing so much more damage.
Yes.
Here we go. Stomp stay plus, but yeah, still challenged with a 2A right there. I really like LPT's challenges that they've been going so far in a lot of these situations. They're really not afraid to just go for some of the standard pressure setups. Here we go. CS VDP CS not bugged though.
No. Okay, this is gonna be
So it won't kill because it scales pretty hard now in combos unless you end in a 5AD. But it was because of the special confirm out of it. That's going to give LPT another chance to stay alive and find a big route like this.
Yeah, using those 2-3-6s to come in, come forward, set up afterwards because you can add those on in the combos very easily with Byakuya just pressing a back button. So much damage at LPT. Even though it looked like he was losing control, especially with those 6-6-FS that you're talking about, it doesn't matter. These combo routes are very clean.
Yeah, they're staying just very, very safe, like always pressing right at that peak range that they want to be. But Henjin was right with that 2C press. That is a perfect tool to get around a lot of what Byakuya can do, but unfortunately wasn't able to find the confirm as it is it's pretty tight.
Yeah, LPT sitting on 200 EXS and sucked all of that up there too with the, I'm like, the double C, the CS.
Yes.
Yeah, there we are. Using chain shift effectively there. Going to be able to spend 200 EXS there. You're a cocoon and you're also dead.
Yeah.
Very, very fast round from LPT. Going to be moving on once again, as is tradition with French bred games, 2 out of 3 until winners, losers, grands.
So yeah, that is LPT now on our loser side, making it in. I still don't think we have the result of Spectro and Nico May.
I think everybody is running around just a little bit here.
Yeah. But it looks like Bored-erlands did beat Shitani 2-0.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be Bored-erlands versus JO1 for our next match, who is... I'm trying to remember who's...
Yep, so they're coming up right now, so we're going to be able to find out fairly shortly.
It's like I know who these two people play. I just cannot think of it. It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. It is. And there's going to be more games to come, and I love that for us because, man, this is so exciting.
It's so exciting. We are so back, should the back of the shirt say.
If the back of the shirt did say.
Have you seen the Awaited Fate shirt?
Yeah.
It says we're so back. Yeah.
There was apparently one shirt that wasn't printed with that. So it just says,
it's so
over.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but, you know, it'd be like that. But here we are, getting into it now.
Yeah.
Once again, I am Jadelyn. This is Tabby.
Back at it again with the right names under.
With the right names. You can find us here currently at Game Lab.
Yep, in wonderful Riverside, California.
Beautiful Riverside, California. The orange trees all have oranges on them. It's so great because last time we were here, we were past the growing season.
Yeah,
so they were just like gorgeous green trees, but now they have beautiful oranges on them.
The contrast with even the buildings have been like the red to still contrast with everything. It's a beautiful city. Definitely, if you try to make it out here, spend some time exploring the city a little bit before coming in.
There are so many niche things that you can find here and creative spaces, and there's music everywhere, which just makes me super happy. Last night we were walking around the city and went to where locals used to be held here at its really cool coffee shop, and it was a jazz improv night, and we were just hanging out listening to jazz, and that's just such a great way to play around in the city. Oh my gosh, Merkava time.
Yeah.
Certified noodle boy.
We got to make our custom colors, and see, this is what I appreciate. They've got the notes to know exactly what colors. No need to think oh god, where's the color that I mean? They're looking on their phone. They know exactly what they want their custom color to be.
I'm curious to see what specifically we're going for with this.
Yeah, I know some people have made like the solid color ones, or where it's just that's cool. I like that.
The blue is really nice. It
the
jumps
blue accent
out.
with the white and the red. Yeah.
Getting into it now. Woo! So we're going to get, I'm presuming Merkava.
Yeah. It'll be Bored-erlands on Merkava. Then I believe, Jo is a Carmine player, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, hovering over the Carmine now. Ooh, which one are we going to pick? Brave Satan.
It's a good color.
Peligro Diosa.
I call that one Pink Lemonade. The vibes I get from it.
I like that better, actually.
All right, park. All right, we still have a chance. All right, so this is our last qualifier. Nico May did make it in. So they will be facing LPT.
So Bored-erlands on the Merkava. And Joe on the Carmine.
Yep. See, this is kind of an interesting matchup. It was back in Claire, it was a little bit more Merkava sided, but I think with the general nerfs that he's received, or the couple of changes, that he's received, in addition to Carmine generally being like pretty powerful.
Carmine has gotten some really great changes in this edition of the game, and you're seeing right now all of the power that he has. Uses that CS to gain 100 EXS now.
Yeah, grid gain just being generally increased across the board is the reason why I think he's a lot more powerful, because you have the ability to 2-2C go into Bloodhouse more regularly, and that makes it like his actual like fuzzies.
Oh, but grid broken there. That's actually really huge, because he had a lot to work with there, and Bored-erlands is going to be able to take advantage of that lost grid.
Yep. Now sets up, goes for the new short flight Oki that you get off of 2FF. Tries to roll out of it, but you can't do that with the sea worms. Well, you can, but you have to be very late into it, which then the Merkava player is basically just waiting for you to do something into those worms, unless they're actively mixing you up.
Ooh. Yeah. So I like the idea from Bored-erlands trying to get Joe from stopping to be in the sky with the arms coming out from Merkava, because Merkava can cover so much of the screen and keep that away. And they're both really trying. Like, they're both such good screen control characters. So it just depends on who gets the bigger opening. And right now, so Bored-erlands has the grid cycle. They've got more EXS.
Yep.
They are really doing a great job controlling the screen, especially with the little babies all across the floor.
Yep. Sea worms coming out through it. Just nothing crazy off it because of like the weird like corner carry that happened there. You saw that Jo had like Bored-erlands was forced to cash out their cycle right there because Jay had been built up so much more grid, still able to maintain it out of here, but a Sea Fireball Ender should close out game number 1 into Bored-erlands.
That was such great gameplay from them.
Yeah, I'd like to see like a little bit more aggression from Jay right there, just like they were looking for. Bored-erlands already prepared for it with the 2A confirms right there. Oh, with A, but Worm was there to cover them.
Oh, just a throw, too. Back into the same corner. Makes sense. You want to maintain that corner position. Catches a backdash for a little bit there, and then, again, I love the little charges that they want to get. But, okay, Puddle's coming out, which you always have to watch. But maybe you don't. If you're Bored-erlands, you fly and you hit with a really low-hanging overhead. It was a low fly zone, and this is now... You're getting the worms set up too, and the pressure coming out. Okay, nice tech on the throw, but Puddle coming out, more noodles.
Oh,
that's so great
yeah,
from Bored-erlands.
Bored-erlands has been doing a very good job of just recognizing that, hey, J.O.'s really setting a lot in this sort of third column in front of me. If I can just back out, hang up there, you get access to flight off that, where you can, if they whiff something, you can JB, just poke them down, dive kick if they try to be a little more aggressive with you, you can shoot fireballs. It's very a good spot to be in for Merkava's game plan. And you see right now, just being very patient. All right, I'm going to let the Carmine player do their own thing, because I can just block, I can just hold it down. It's not until the Carmine player hits you that you are as terrified. There we go, is the start that they would want.
Yeah, I love that you pointed that out right as they got hit, but then the patience, too, from Bored-erlands, able to wait it out, figure out when it's time, using the fireballs appropriately, getting the grab, using the chain shift to get 200 EXS, you're going to be able to get a ton of damage, spend 100 of that there, and then punishing the veil off, that's huge.
Yep, that's going to probably close it out right here. Let's see, into CVO. Yeah, just IW ends it right here. Bored-erlands taking that 2-0, making it through to the top 8. Now, I'm just going to, for the record, for those of you at home, if you're watching this game and you're like, wow, that's pretty neat, I'm going to give you a pro tip.
Pro tip.
5 AB at the end of your combos. If you're going to ever confirm into IW, CVO is very easy. You just press 3 buttons and you press 3 buttons again. However, if you press, if you do AB and then you do half circle forward D, it unscales the damage. Or mostly unscales it. We're not sure if it's a bug. We're not sure if it's a feature, but you deal an extra couple hundred extra damage.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Why not both?
It is both bug and feature. It is a thing that we can do.
And it's definitely one of the reasons you'll see a lot of characters find routes that are trying to end in 5A, not ending in a special, but ending in a normal into 5AB. Well, it does cost your grid, so it's something that you want to do as a round kill option because of how 5AB works. For those of you who don't know, 5AB, new system mechanic. It's something we talked about roll, but 5AB is now basically short combos. If you use it as the ender, you get more grid. In long combos, it loses grid, but it guarantees a hard knockdown, and it allows you to confirm into IW easier.
It's a really great mechanic, and and I really like that it looks different on every character.
Yes.
I think that's so cool, but what is great, and this is something I've talked about frequently that I really think that French-bred games do very well, is their visual and sound cues are unmatched, because visually, yes, the character is acting different, but the color scheme and things that surround them, it is consistent across the board.
Yep.
And the sound that goes with that is so clear, so you know that 5AB is happening.
Yep, you know that this is the mechanic that's happening. You see it, it hits, it makes the same thud sound when they hit the ground.
Yes.
It's very clear what's going on. But when you say it is different, is it's actually very interesting because every character, if you can do it on block. You're -4 after doing it, but some characters are spaced out that they can't be throw punished. Some are, so for some characters it ends up being like, oh, short comp or like short block string, do it, grid positive like block string ender, where it's no longer your turn, but you can steal cycles with it. And it's very beneficial, and like some niche situations like that, we found an issue with Akatsuki that if you do at the end
just
of
one?
Oh well, at the end of some long combos, his IW will whiff. We don't know why, but me and Rurik were playing a bunch of sets, and it happened like 10 times, and we don't know why.
Oh, that's crazy. Also, in case you're wondering, the Akatsuki thing was a joke. Anybody at home? No, I love Akatsuki. He is my boy. Actually,
he's
I
gassed
feel like
this version. He's gassed this version.
He's
so good.
So great. I feel like so many. I say like, "Oh, that's my boy" about so many characters in this game. Like, "Hi, that's my baby. Tsurugi, that's my boy. Kuon, also my boy." It's fun.
They are all my children.
They are. I think they made so many great character choices. I mean, there's like growth for some of the characters who've been with the series for a long time, just as people, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, being able to be this new version with new recorded voice lines and like new story stuff, being able to like grow those characters. But the thing that I also really like about it is there were a couple characters that in the last few versions of the game, to be honest, kind of overlapped each other. And they really got more unique identities with these new moves that were added. For example, like a lot of people put characters like Hyde, Wagner, even like Londa a little bit, like these like quote-unquote all mids, like strike throw style characters. They kind of lumped them together and you're like, oh, just pick the strongest one that you think will do well.
Right.
But they all were able to really like diversify with what they're doing. Yeah, we're already like diverse, but fundamentally at their core they kind of did the same thing. But in this now with like Lene like being a little bit more focused on like kind of that weird like mid-screen spacing on it, while a character like Wagner's way more about being up close. Laundrekia is now way more focused onto his Rekka game, is now especially tools now like Ice Rain.
Oh, the Ice Rain
like
is
that.
so good. That like you get a hard knockdown Ice Rain and it's just guess.
I'm not. I'm going to fuzzy, and I'm going to let God decide if I was guessing right or not.
It's in your hands. Take the wheel or the ice. It just depends, whatever. Thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah.
We're solving a small technical difficulty at the moment, but we should be back momentarily.
Should be back momentarily.
Memento Mori into whatever. I'm sorry. It's terrible. Oh, no. I've lost Tabby.
You've killed me. But
no.
In the meantime, we can talk about the top 8.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
So I don't know everybody's characters just because there's too many people. But I do know, so we have Knots versus DFAxCalamity. Knots, previously, for those of you who were watching him for a while, you know them as a Wagner player. They were playing that for a long time. That's where a lot of their tournament success has been in. At the beginning of the game, they were playing Kuon. They were trying him out. I was talking with Knots before this, and I was asking, hey, are you sticking with him? He's like, hey, I don't think he's for me. So he's going back onto the Seth, which is sort of
interesting.
Which is a character a lot of Wagner players want to play. That's the secret they won't tell you. Because he is a very similar strike throw character, but has a very solid mix-up game and a high mobility, which can be very advantageous to what they want to do. Calamity, I believe they're a Chaos player. I'm like 90% sure they're a Chaos player. Which Chaos is a character that you've seen some people like say it's a little bit weaker this version. I just think that is a character that is, it's a puppet character. You generally have to work with a lot of depth to figure out, how everything works and how new tools get added. A big thing is the Chaos's force function changed. It used to be his little hop that he did.
Right.
That's now a dash follow-up. So you can still do it. It still functions identically. It just is now his force function is a flamethrower for Ozzy. So it acts as like a good meaty tool, but it's a meaty tool that puts him in block and it costs grid. We don't really know what we can do with this. There's potential for, I think I've seen some people get some like fuzzy high-low stuff with it because it puts him in block stun for long enough. But is that better than 2-2X? We just don't know. And it's a lot of study. Like we're still a month into the game, and I couldn't tell you some people will like to make tier lists, but I couldn't tell you who's who's strong and who's not right now.
No, and I think you bring up a really good point about. So we're making sure top 8 has audio is what we're trying to find right now. You bring up a really good point because the game came out a month.
Yep.
Officially, like a month ago today.
Literally today, like 30 days ago today.
Which is insane to me, but there's so much to be discovered about the game, like you're talking about, and there are massive things, but then there's more niche things, like things you're talking about for Chaos, because he is a puppet character, and there are changes there, and how you operate your puppet is so core, and when it's a force function change, which is massive. So if you're not familiar with Uni and we're saying force function, it is another move set that uses, there's diamonds at the bottom of the screen, which is called grid, and it uses one block of grid. And you're able to, and every force function is different for every character.
Every force function is different. Some characters now in this version have multiple force functions. Not like a select, but it's, back in the old days, you usually had a force function, and some characters had a back force function that was a mechanically similar thing.
Right, but like Kuon, for example, has a force function that puts him into the air and it lets him float, but he has multiple follow-ups. You have an A, B, C, or D follow-up, which is one of... It's just his jump buttons, but they come out from that float. But then he also has directional force function, which you can have, dictator slide, and you can have a really great ring setup and things like that.
He's got a lot of tools off of that. Tsurugi, his force function being the auto guard mid-high parry that he can then cancel into his other special, because he can special cancel all the stuff, he can cancel into that, but they also has pseudo Rekka follow-ups.
It's just, there's so many options, but continue.
The important thing is that they cost grid to use. They are generally very core to a character's game plan. They're going to make them more powerful. They're going to allow them to do things, but they are at the cost of a resource that if you don't use appropriately, your opponent will then win the Vorpal cycle, which can turn tides into their favor, not only with meter gain, but with being able to use it as, in a variety of tools, whether it be the frame 1 reversal to get out of wake-up situations, to get some easy hit confirms, do a variety of things.
Yeah, and you're also, when you win the Vorpal cycle, if you're choosing not to chain shift and absorb that grid, you're also getting a damage increase.
Yep, and not only a damage increase, but different attributes of your character are increased. I wish I could tell you all of them off the top of my head. I can tell you
honestly, there's a lot. There's a lot that happens in that situation.
And it sounds complicated. The way that we're describing it, it makes it sound complicated. And if you're like, I don't know about this, this is it's too much. It's the meme image of the fighting game that has 32 bars all over the screen.
You're like, but why?
All you need to know is it's a fighting game, and there's this cool little thing at the bottom that you should try to win. That's the important thing.
Right, and I've talked about this repeatedly because I felt as a newer fighting game player that Uni, I've always loved the way it looked and the way that it, presented on screen, and I always thought that this could be so cool for me, but it felt intimidating.
It does.
Because there are a lot of system mechanics, but as somebody who's now really invested in the French bread ecosystem, I feel like it's very accessible, and once you get the idea of, like you said, there's a bar, try to win the thing.
Yep.
That's really at its core what all there is to it.
Yeah, we've definitely seen not only just at local levels, but in a massive worldwide scale, we've seen a lot of new players, and that's definitely a big thing I've seen, especially for my scene. And even when the couple people who picked up Claire was like, this seems kind of intimidating, and I told them it's ignore it, but pay attention, but ignore it is the best way I can put it. The Vorpal cycle is incredibly important, but it doesn't have to be the end-all be-all. More important things that you should be focusing on is what your character does and what your opponent's character does and how you beat that.
Matchup knowledge is huge, in this game.
It is.
And the cast of characters isn't particularly large right now. We're at 25.
24, 25, something like that. I want to say 25. I want to say you're right.
I believe it's 25, only because Eltnum has a line about her being in the arcade version, the original arcade version. So she was like, I was here before the other 24.
Yeah. And it is 25 because it's 28 with the 3 DLC characters. That's
right, so 3 DLC characters, and that roadmap has already been put out.
Yeah. So we know it is.
Is it August, February, August? Is that what it is?
I think it's August, December, August. or
Okay.
January. But it's about that time. It's about once every 6 months.
Right.
They said that they're going to be trying to do like large balance patches with that, which I think is a very Type Lumina did a similar thing where it was like maybe some small balance patches here or there, but a large patch where it was like, oh, we're going to shake up how like a tier list is good, because the game really needs 6 months to, like, honestly, I think we need a year with this version of the game with no balance changes just to get an idea of everything.
I have heard feedback from people who, because sometimes in some games you're on a much faster balance patch cycle.
Yep.
And releasing characters and things like that more quickly. So people are concerned, is it too much time? And I am actually in agreement with you. I think this gives time for the game to settle, for a meta to take shape.
Yeah.
Because when it is faster, you're changing so quickly and so rapidly that you don't have it's all breadth and no depth.
And I think those kinds of patch cycles work better for these like larger games. Like if you had, I'm going to just say the hypothetical world of 2XKO, because we can call it that.
Yeah, 2XKO.
Like that game, if it eventually has like 60 characters in it after like 5 years or whatever, you're going to have to balance that frequently, because that's just too much to balance at a point. You need those faster cycles to really like get into the nitty-gritty of that. Meanwhile, for a game with 24 characters, you can really break down a character over the course of a month and be like, okay, what does they do? Like, what do we actually know that is too powerful to them? And I think there's some characters that do have some things that need to be adjusted and whatnot, but honestly, in my opinion, it's still too early to tell.
And two, I think that it always bears mentioning that Carmine, the lead director of this game and one of the developers, is so good at listening, and not just to players in certain regions. He is really listening to everyone.
Yeah, and he's also someone that is like, for those who are unaware, because a lot of people don't really follow his like social media presence, he is actively playing the game. He will boot up like 4 instances of the game on different platforms and just hop between them.
Yeah, I've watched some of his streams where he's like, I have lobby, and he's just hopping lobbies. My favorite moment, because I was watching him do it when he was playing Melty, and he was playing MASH.
Yeah.
And then he's hopping lobbies, and he sometimes he does speak in English, but he's still learning English, but he does run with a translator. And all I hear is, I made MASH too good. Ha ha ha. And just laughs about it. And that's the kind of person he goes to Tadakai Tuesdays out in Japan, like talks to different people. It is so helpful to know that he is so active.
Yeah, he from a dev side, he is like boots on the ground.
He really is, and he's so good at it.
Yes. It's something that I like appreciate that I've not seen in like too big of a scale from other ones.
Agreed.
It looks like our players are
getting their buttons set.
Yeah.
Getting through this right now.
So it is.
Yeah, let's see. So Linne Mika. All Battle of the Tinies? I'm so happy.
Yeah, okay. So Calamity is on Mika. Seth is on Knots. Knots is on Seth.
Knots is on Seth. Yes. I was hoping for the Linne. I love the hyper hamster.
Yeah, listen to me.
No. So Knots and Calamity out here. So we do have the Seth and the Mika. Mika being one who, gosh, she hurts if she gets in.
North America, you're a bunch of liars. This character's been good forever, and she's even stronger in this version. Having access to new tools like 2FF, like that right there, that's 2FF, makes her very, very powerful and very scary to deal with. So there you see right there, that little ender right there where Seth did the twirls, that's the 5AB ender. And Seth is actually put out in a spacing where he can't be thrown to be punished right here. So Here we are now.
Side switch, and there is an orb on screen, but just like any other projectile character, if you hit Seth, it's gone, and then that threat has been eliminated.
And Mika as well, specifically, her gauntlets allow her to destroy projectiles, so she can even whiff buttons into it at farther ranges than what other characters are normally able to deal with the orbs.
Yeah, Mika actually has a lot of advantages in this particular matchup because of the way that she works.
Yeah. She's also a character that is very favored in the scramble, and generally, like, Seth is wanting to put you into a scramble situation. Good tech out of there from DFAxCalamity, was able to recognize it and gets a nice 360. Ooh.
That was really sneaky. You get the launcher afterwards to chain shift to
You're
maximize all of that. And yeah, you're dead. And you come in with all that EXS.
Yep. You spent 100 meter, and then you gain 101 off of it.
It's a win-win.
It's a very, very good situation for you to be in. As well as Seth being he is the pixie character of the game, or one of them. So a lower health pool. Mika deals a lot of damage, something that you have to be very, very afraid of.
Yeah, and Mika also has the ability to really mix you up, but now we do have a grid break on that. Was trying to look like it was shield the incoming damage, but didn't end up working out for Mika. Not's trying to get some kind of setup, but Calamity just jumped out of the corner and said, I'm not afraid.
Oh, great use right there. The new special move. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, grid break once again. Counter hit afterwards. The orb setup came out. Wasn't able to pick up, and that wasn't a ton of damage.
Yeah, they missed the link at the very end right there, which would have led into a full combo with some good Oki, but still confident, even after the grab situation right there, to just press and get a quick hit confirm into it. Now, this is where you're going to see Seth do a lot in the early stages of the game. Just try to back away, set orb, force you to block it, but Mika already in there and already spinning to win.
Yeah, she doesn't have to... Mika does so much. Oh, I really love using that dash to get out of there. Another system mechanic that has been utilized incredibly well already.
Yeah, 3D, I used to know the name, but it's blanking on me right now. One thing that's very important with it is that if you hit something during the active frames of it that's not a throw, it counts as a shield, which Mika is very susceptible to shielding her special moves, so she can't cancel them into each other, which can very hurt her game plan a lot. So it's something that you have to be worrisome of.
Wow. Knots brought that back in a hurry. Knots taking that first game, doing a really good job getting those orb setups and avoiding a lot of the incoming damage from Mika, because as we see, when Mika does get a hit, it's a significant portion of Seth's very low health pool.
Yeah, and you see already just a quick little early hit. Try to go for delay tech, so took a little bit extra damage. Oh, TRM, no. Okay, tech's out this time. And that's where you see, like, Calamity just getting this loop over and over and over again, gonna knock him down, and gonna play a very, very scary strike.
Go for a throw here. Chain shift right afterwards. Oh, just took advantage of the recovery frames from Calamity. That was such a patient game from Knots, and is gonna get the orb set up here. Uses a little bit of EXS at the very end. Did win the grid cycle as well. Has to be careful. We do have a veil off, though, to reestablish the pressure from Calamity, and does take the round.
That is pressing against the 6-6B right there is always so scary, because it has a very long special cancel window afterwards. So while it is minus like a lot, they can cancel. You saw it in a tornado. They can go into missile and just back away. They can go into a command grab. They can go to a hit grab. There's a lot that Mika can go into, and it's always something that you have to be worried about.
Yeah, get the grab afterwards here, right into the awaiting arms of the orb. Can't escape awaiting orb. 4K damage and another grid break. I feel like Calamity has gotten so many grid breaks.
Yeah, from what I can tell from it, it looks like the Calamity is doing Stantec OS. So there's an OS in the game that you can do 1 or 4 AD, and it'll shield as well as throw tech for you. But if you do that and you're whiffs, you just shield and your opponent can run up throw you.
It's a really nice low coming out from Calamity to open up Knots, who's in that veil off state and is going to be losing that shortly. Once again, the 3D comes out to create the side switch. But Calamity using Mika's toolkit to reverse the situation. Another good tech on the throw, too. These guys are so in each other's heads.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you have to be in this kind of matchup. Like, Seth can't... Neither of these characters want to let the other character have any room to breathe, because then they will try to establish dominance and control of the match to a level that is very, very hard to deal with.
Yes, very, very much. Ooh. Not stop blocking for a second. Throw once again. I mean, I'm with Calamity. I would have tried to go for a throw there, too, because Knots is doing such a great job blocking. And then a veil off again because they had enough meter to do so, reestablish the pressure, Calamity went for something, but it doesn't matter. The overhead comes out, and then you're going to be able to get a lot of damage off of 200 EXS spent here.
It was a classic Uni set where it was, okay, I'm going to do run up assault, run up throw, guess, and then Calamity.
You guessed wrong.
Calamity guessed wrong, and Knox was able to get the full punish on it. Good stagger. I like this. They're trying to bait out the green shields to find more opportunities to grid break them. As you can see, Calamity's grid has been building up. They've now won the cycle off of it, so you can see that they're mashing CS. It's not going to happen just yet.
No. Wow, not spectacularly done. I love seeing Seth gameplay when it's not. This is going to come out sounding a little bit odd, but when it's not totally dominant. Because seeing Seth come from the back foot against a character matchup where Mika really does have a lot of advantages against that character and be able to win, I think is fantastic.
Yes, it's definitely something that you don't see too often. It's something that you'll see in this version of the game a little bit more as well. I was talking with a player, and I'm not 100% certain on this, but I think they even reduced screen size slightly. It feels a little smaller. So that makes characters like Seth and Mika, who are able to kind of transport across the screen really quickly, even scarier when you're playing at that full screen range, which is oddly a spot that both those characters are very comfortable being in, which you wouldn't normally say for rushdown characters. Like
no, but they are. Because their toolkits complement that kind of placement, which I think is, again, it's a new change, but it's opening up a lot of opportunities to explore the massive depth that this game has.
And speaking of massive depth, we are getting someone who's dug through who's been in the trenches in this game since the beginning.
Yes.
Actually, both these players have. They're both EL players. I remember. Right. I know. So we have brkrdave versus Grant. I'm not saying it's full tag. It's too many characters.
It is all the characters.
But I know for a fact, brkrdave was someone who was playing in the EL days. Has recently switched over, at least at the end of Claire, switched over to playing Waldstein, who is secretly a very fundamentals-driven character. Because Uni is a game that is heavily rewards system mechanic knowledge and understanding what other characters do.
Yes.
So if you can play around those systems, the character that deals the most damage is going to be someone that's in your favor, and Waldstein is that character, because you are dealing, in some cases, 4K, 4.5K, where other characters are dealing about 3.2. And,
I mean, to people's credit who play the character, you do have Waldstein has some inputs.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, you have 360s and things like that you have to do to really open up his toolkit and blow it open so that you're getting as maximum damage as you can. But he also, for all of the damage that he's putting out, his screen control is insane, because he got long arms and he's gonna use them the entire time. But it looks like
So this is the matchup that I was expecting.
Yay, my girl!
Eltnum Waldstein.
My girl! I love Eltnum so much. Eltnum being a character that has so many tools, and it's the mix. It's the mix-up, because a lot of her stuff with her whips is low. So if you're blocking low, great. But then, she can walk up and close the distance and hit you with an overhead because you've been blocking low the whole time. Or one of her many grabs, or some of her moves are fairly ambiguous, and you think you should be blocking low, and it's not. It's an overhead, and that's it. You're wide open, and her confirm range is huge.
In addition to that, having just very good stagger buttons on top of it, having access to things like gunshot and the whole 2-2 series is very, very beneficial. And you're seeing that right here.
Yep.
Reload.
Yep,
oh,
reload. There it is. Oh no, that's a shame, because that would have been huge, honestly.
And that allowed brkrdave to go and get a 720A right there, so it was able to have a very quick and fast punish. It is a 5-frame punish.
But there again, there's the range on that low whip. Going to be able to, okay, and then you're going to get the throw afterwards, and then you're going to have time to reload. Here, perfect reload, really well done.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, the gunshot was not spaced out. It was just slightly far off, so brkrdave was able to find an opportunity to get in there. And now you see, this is Wald's new move. He has his 2-2X. It is Vlov Stomp, essentially.
Yeah, it is.
And the Waldstein player classic body smash CS immediately into the tick throw set right there. And brkrdave taking game number 1. round number 1 of game number 1.
Round, yeah.
All right, swipe. Ooh, swipe's not punished right there. That's actually really important to know that you can shield the last hit. I think Eltnum has a easy punish for that. AA, reload.
Yep.
There we go.
Excellent reload.
Enhanced bullets is very important onto Eltnum as it increases her frame advantage and the general damage that she gets. There are certain routes that are only possible with enhanced bullets as well. So you have to be very careful to make sure that you always have a full magazine of them if you can.
Exactly, and if you're not paying attention to your magazine as Eltnum, there could be times where you do, like, you're running up to close the distance or something, and then you end up reloading in somebody's face, and you're just vulnerable the entire time. But now brkrdave getting in briefly, gunshots coming out, but what a counter! This is going to be huge. Yeah, 2.6K, and then the immediate chain shift to continue the combo. This is going to be a lot of damage coming out of brkrdave. This is what you were talking about, Tabby, where every other character, you know, Eltnum, who does put out a grip of damage, is nothing compared to the 3.7 that we just saw.
And that's off of a very fast starter option, but here you see the CVO into the new EX grab, pop into IWEX.
Yeah, I love this animation because this bro comes out of nowhere.
Well, he comes from the shadows. He comes from the luminous realm.
The luminous realm. She must go back to her luminous realm.
She must go back.
That was sick.
Now, a thing that is important to note, you're going to see a lot of players trying to cash out with these infinite worths and infinite worth EXs because meter gain is so quick. You can already see that Grant is just getting hit, and they're already at 70 meter. They haven't done anything, and they're already at a very, very fast meter gain, and one hit like this will bring them back up close. Body splash CS once again with the J2C.
What a counter from brkrdave. That was so smart to be able to do, and just dunk right there at the end. And I like, too, Tabby, that you're pointing out about how the meter is gained, because it's not just on positive interactions for your character. There is a reward from getting hit, because right now, you know, unfortunately, Eltnum did get hit, but you saw there was meter being gained during that situation.
And there's even an indirect reward, so if you are blocking for an extended period of time, the longer you block, the more grid that you gain. So if your opponent's doing a long block string, then you can be gaining more grid, which then will put you into situations where you can have even more. But the whiff 360, not going to be good if you are a brkrdave fan right here. So
I love that run under side switch, too. Sometimes if you launch them just right, you can get that little mix in. And then now again, that same side switch, going to get the reload in as well. Eltnum winning the grid cycle. Oh, what a punish!
Yeah, brkrdave, I think, was expecting, because they've been seeing a lot of run-up command grab, and then also you'll see a lot of times the Eltnums will just do 6-6B, 6-6C there, or try to do something. So VO was, I think, a very solid option, but they were already prepared to be able to beat it down.
They were. Ooh, nice backdash there, getting out of the range of the Waldstein.
Yeah, and that's where you have to be careful, right?
That move right there, that is so deceptive, and Eltnum just kicks you in the face. But brkrdave, not afraid. I wouldn't be too if I had giant metal claws.
And you saw that he's specifically waiting for a shield right there, but that was a bad green shield because the chain shift came out, so able to get a grid break on them, and now having to deal with corner Eltnum pressure, no way to gain the cycle, so they're going to be able to keep the CS. It's so hard to deal with.
Yeah, and this is the high-low game that I was talking about. You just have to, if you guess wrong on the block once, it's a problem. Using that 3D to get out of there, but now you're put back in the corner. Green shield, once again, not the best idea because grid broken. And that time, I'm going to take the round. We're 1-1.
Creeping edge, that's the name of the mechanic.
Creeping edge.
It was on the top of my head. I was like hollowed edge, creeping ground, is something like that. But
creeping edge, it is creeping edge, yeah.
Yeah, one thing that is very important to know about those situations is that a lot of characters can deal with what Eltnum brings on the table. Wald does not have fast options on normals. He has them on specials. So the fact that you are and a lot of them are on EX specials, so the fact that you take it away from him is very hard. But this is the thing, you can't do what you used to be able to do and traditionally zone him out due to the use of 2-2X now being able to check. You saw going for the charge 2-3-6B.
Yeah, and I like that you're equating it to another French bread title because there are a lot of people who play this game who understand that is a tool that it can be very terrifying.
Yep.
But speaking of terrifying, that is a perfect from brkrdave.
Yeah, and that's something that you tend to see a lot if you are able to pilot the game right. This chip damage does happen, but brkrdave looking to end this with another near perfect if they could keep the combo going.
No, but that was an opportunity for Eltnum to get in. the side switch once again, and then the hard knockdown here, which is a great safe reload. Now, brkrdave did win the cycle, but if they're not going to get the opportunity to use it, it doesn't matter because look how much grid that Eltnum is gaining in the meantime. They spend the EXS for that new grab as well that you just perfectly highlighted. Another great reload, but brkrdave said, I ain't scared of no ghosts.
Yeah, saw the meaty right there because the red flash that pops on CS during active frames, so they were able to just quickly hit him with the 720C, get some extra damage.
Yeah, creeping edge coming out once again from brkrdave. It's so useful to get out of the corner.
Oh, good reaction or setup right there. Being able to, because brkrdave have been going for those EX command grabs so much, but a big meaty swipe's going to allow that to then be turned into their favor and should be able to close it out right here. brkrdave taking it 2-1.
Something I think that's really interesting that I don't feel like you notice until you play Waldstein is how slow he is.
Yes.
He has, I mean, he does have the slowest walk speed in the game.
So, fun fact. Waldstein mirrors. It is, your dash is like super punishable in Waldstein mirrors. The quickest way to move in that situation is to do back, forward, back, because his body jiggles and he steps forward a little bit more.
Today I have learned.
Yeah, it's very like weird. Go watch Psychotic versus Smiles Combo Breaker 2022. It's a very good example of that match.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I just think it's so fun when you watch a player like brkrdave, who you would never know that character is glacial.
Yes. Because they're constantly in the air. They're using options like Aerosol, which is something you don't normally see on a lot of characters, and having tools like JC, which reaches super far. That was that big swipe down. And then Body Splash is what it's sort of colloquially known as, but it's J2C. That's the grappler jump. Zangief jumping heavy punch, if you're familiar with like Street Fighter, where he came down like this. That move's very important because it fully retracts his hurt box up. So it's almost impossible to anti-air, and when they land on you, they can special cancel out of it. So with CS, you're safe, and then you get to like strike throw them, or you get a grappler strike throw them, which is an even scarier situation.
Yes, terrifying. Just terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. We are looking for Nico, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where they're at right now, but we are getting them. We got LPT sitting on the setup right now.
Hooray! Fun times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to get back to that Byakuya.
Yeah. I was actually just going over because I don't actually know who Nico May plays in this game. I know they played in the past.
Not sure. Oh, there they are. They're coming back.
Yeah. But so far we've seen Seth, Mika, Waldstein, Eltnum,
Merkava and Carmine.
Carmine, Byakuya,
and Wagner.
No, we're missing it.
So
no,
Wald,
the Merk and
Eltnum,
Carmine.
Seth, Mika, Merk, Carmine. Oh, you mean just for top 8?
Yeah, just for top 8.
Oh, okay, just for top 8. I thought you were talking about getting into top 8.
Yeah, no, I think within the top 8, I think we have 8 distinct characters. If I
believe so. Which again speaks so much to this game.
Yeah, it's not you're not having to worry about like, oh, you need to find the strongest thing that's just in the game in general, which I think there's people who do that, and I don't think it's an invalid strategy. But you can very much play the game with your character and put in the work and make it very far. We saw back in Claire, Waldstein was considered like he was quote unquote bottom 1. brkrdave won EVO 2022 with the character. He's top 8 the character's been by multiple people top 8 at multiple majors and other large regionals. Akatsuki was considered a bad character. Once again, top 8 at multiple large majors and regionals. Character that was considered top 1, Batista. Like, one person played that character to the level, or like 3 people in total, but only one of them was consistently making top 8, or to the level that people thought that she could be at. So you don't have to worry about, I got to play the strongest thing. You can play who you like, who you think is cool, and if you learn how the game works, that will take you further than anything else.
And I think it's important too to note that the character that you like and that you enjoy their moveset is the character that you're going to practice, is the character that you're going to find success with. If you pick a character that is, this is top whatever, but you don't like them, then you're not going to enjoy the experience.
Exactly.
And At its core, this is a game.
I think that's true for all fighting games,
Oh,
in my
I agree.
opinion. But I definitely think there are certain people, certain calibers of player where you have to look at a tier list at that point, and then you make some decisions. But for your everyman just getting into the game,
Yay.
pick whoever's cool.
I like cool things. Cool things are fun.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. You know what else I like? Byakuya, because I'm a terrible person. I was actually pretty dead set on playing Byakuya in 2
That's good.
until Kuon.
Yeah, I mean that's accurate. That's accurate for you.
Yeah, that for me, yeah. The evil character with lasers, yeah.
You and Masoma share a 100% crossover rate in character pools. So
We
it makes
do.
sense.
Fun fact, so at Frosty, Masoma was in my pool.
Yep.
And so I went up and I was like, hey, Masoma, who are you playing? And he looked at me and was like, Kuon. And I was like, yeah, I should have guessed that. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go over here. And of course, he won the pool. But there was much Kuon representation in my pool, so very happy about that.
Yeah.
All
okay.
right.
So it looks like we're having some controller issues. They're just switching over to the PS4 version of the game. I believe that is tournament standard technically, but
Yeah.
it's so close it doesn't matter. But it does work.
Yeah, I played I've been playing the PS4 on PS5 version, but
Yep.
also the PC version.
I know Frosty's was PS4 and PS5.
Yes,
for their version.
that was that one. I thought it went. Considering that the game had just come out and Frosty was like, "We're going."
Well, we definitely had we had a little bit of a situation. Frosty's day one, we look. None of the setups had the day one patch because they announced it after they had gotten them all set up for them.
Oh,
they got
that's
it in
so
advance.
frustrating.
Yeah. So I want to shout outs to the Frosty Fausting staff and. It was a lot of the TNS guys, I think, who helped out with lugging consoles to hotel rooms to get them plugged into the internet so they can get them updated.
So we're getting another Eltnum. So Nico does play Eltnum.
We're not getting 8 unique characters, but that's fine.
That's fine,
And we
but
got to
we
see
got
Park. We did it, net players.
Park! How times have
Times
changed.
have changed. Yeah, the trees don't look like they belong in a PS3 game anymore.
Oh, man.
But what does belong right now in this game
Golly.
is the early combo that LPT is getting right now.
Yeah, and that 6xB is so crucial to Byakuya's combo structure. It gets him so far so quickly. And look at these setups. The webs are everywhere. You have to be so careful. But the throw is going to get rid of all of those. And then that overhead kick and the kick once again. This Eltnum gameplay is totally different than the one we just saw.
And that's something that you get with this game. Is people are able to play their characters very differently. This is a more reminiscent of a someone who's not as focused on the gunshots, which is what you saw a lot of Grant doing. And
Yes.
just trying to control that, which you kind of want to do with Wald anyways. But Nico May is very willing to try to challenge, but LPT is willing to take that challenge and put it into their own success.
Yeah, the 2-2C into the awaiting web in the air was such a great setup from LPT. Okay, we did get the CS. They were able to stop time briefly and see what was going on. A very late tech because it was a gold throw,
Yep.
so you had a ton of time, but LPT able to clutch it out.
Yeah, doing a very, very solid job. I've been watching LPT play multiple games all day at this point, and they have a very just core solid play style that's showing them a lot of success. See right now, just playing very cautious.
Yep.
And that's very important. So now you saw that Nico is trying to go for these green shields. You're now trying to find these opportunities to punish it. And this is huge, actually.
Yeah.
So Celestial.
Celestial. Let's talk about Celestial. Tell us all about it.
So Celestial is the other new last mechanic of the game. That if you have 6 or more blocks of grid when you win the cycle, you get a full stack. You get a full 12 blocks, which generates you 200 meter if you spend it out. During that cash out as well, during a brief window, you get an additional damage bonus on all your routes, and you get a ground bounce back. So there are technically new Celestial-only routes that you can get. You actually saw it be very relevant there because it allowed that combo, which normally wouldn't put you into a single throw kills you situation. It dealt 300 extra damage, and that made it so one throw was going to be able to close out the round, and that's a lot scarier of a situation to be in than a strike or a throw.
It is. It is very, very scary. Then we get, oh my God, LPT's high-low that they're creating is so terrifying. And Nico just hasn't gotten a chance to really get any major openings. And then these chain shifts to see exactly where Nico is and get all of these webs set up has been great. The grid break comes out too.
Yeah, and that's something if you're not super familiar with this version of the character now. 3C used to be a low that charged into an overhead. It's now a mid that charges into an overhead. So if you see it at home and you're trying to figure out how to beat it, just stand and block it.
Woo! Tech hit once again. Gets one tiny little hit, but the throwback into the corner. Oh, they were almost a Celestial.
They were almost a Celestial, but the quick assault right there, giving them, allowing LPT to take a little bit of grid from them, would be very, very beneficial to keep them around. But here we go. I like that early cash out
I do too.
on the grid.
Good throw.
LPT is just constantly ready for it. Yeah, good use of gunshot right there. It does catch 6XP. He's not crouched all the way to the ground. You can still hit him with some good mids. Eltnum actually has a lot of really good tools.
She has a lot of good tools.
With the whip to challenge some of those larger disjoints that you'll be seeing, like 2C right there. All right, good use.
Yep, another. Yeah, these techs have been really excellent. Nico, if they win this cycle, and they're working really hard to do so, should be able to get Celestial.
Yeah.
I'm watching it so closely. You've got one more chance. They just lost the opportunity.
So Byakuya, specifically his webs, steal grid. So even if you're able, because he does generally in those longer block strings you saw, built a ton of grid for Nico May, found a hit and was able to, suck that grid out. And now you're stuck in the web. So you're going to get a free extension into the corner. Should see a cash into Spider Jail. 1, 2. Oh, misses the third, but overhead into the web. And still recovers enough to pick it up, but not enough to confirm it.
Yeah, the backdash was really sneaky too. Just trying to get Nico to do something or anything. And that's going to take it. LPT's Byakuya is looking really great.
It's looking very sharp. It's looking very sharp and clean.
Sharp.
I know I was talking about LPT before. There's someone who's been playing the game for a while.
Yes.
I know at least back in the ST days. So they have that familiarity with the game knowledge and that legacy skill, which is is the best thing to see for me, is all the uni players who were doing well in the past are still doing well now. Those are the same people who are getting through into the new version.
And I love that we're having that sort of success, but also, as you were saying earlier, that there are new players who are able to get into the game as well.
Yep. We haven't seen a lot on a larger scale, but there's been some people who were hidden in the woodworks that are now actually able to show on a larger scale. It's like, hey, I'm actually pretty solid at the game. One of those players being by Jimmy, who you may recognize from the Guilty Gear Strive days. They were a pretty early Strive a May player, but they were somebody who just couldn't play a lot on delay-based netcode. But they are an insane Mika player. I think they got third at the TNS before Genesis. They did did very, very well at what is the hardest weekly under night bracket so far.
Yeah, which was also today. TNS wrapped up actually just a little bit ago since they are East Coast. And shout outs to Sammy and Zero who were commentating that today.
Yes.
Yay!
Love you guys.
Have to go back and watch that.
Oh, I will. I'll watch it on the plane.
Godlike.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
It's a really good idea. Just watch the VODs, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you're not watching it, do it!
You gotta be. There is soon to be every single day of the week an under night tournament.
Which
so if you want to play the game online, you're gonna have access to. Make sure you go to your locals though. I'm talking to you, you know who you are. Go to your locals.
Go to locals.
Come to events like this. Play offline. Get with your scene. Don't just rely on that play. I think it'll get you far, but building strong bonds with your local community will help you grow as a player even more.
I agree. And then when you go out to bigger events, then you have a community to surround yourself with, which is always really nice and brings lots of joy. I do want to say, too, for VODs to watch, if you guys haven't and you're really interested in this game, please watch the top 8 of Frosty Faustings.
Yes.
That was a spectacular bracket through and through. Featured a lot of good Byakuya players, but well, you know what? I won't spoil it. I will not spoil it, but there were some new things, like Tabby and I were talking about earlier about Laundrekia. Showcasing the sheer powerhouse that character has become.
Yeah, and that's a character that I think, I know a lot of people were really trying to make work, and people are having good success, specifically.
He was kind of lackluster, honestly.
Yeah, Defy and Foxoff were both showed hey, look how good we are as players, but we can make it work, but it was always missing something, that they would go back to other characters.
Right. getting into it now. Raiden.
Yep. Raiden play on the Gordo. Borderlands playing Seth this time. Maybe just be button checking with Seth.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks very button checking-y.
Yeah, no, it's a button check. That is the most Under Night dash block I've ever seen, but it is a button check.
No, we're picking colors. That's legit.
Doesn't want to play like Seth. All right. Oh. No, sorry. I think it's just players are on the wrong sides. I think. Maybe?
Nope.
No.
I'm blind. That is Raiden. So Raiden is on
but are
Seth,
the characters on?
and Borderlands is on the Carmine. Yeah. Okay. Then that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, I was getting very confused.
Yep.
Which is funny because Borderlands is playing Merkava.
Yeah.
To get into this.
Merkava is a character that you can. I think names may have been swapped in that game because Borderlands is using the same color.
You're right.
Hey,
okay.
It is.
Well, there we are.
Yep. All right. Easy pressure early on. Yeah, and this is the scariest part of Carmine is they are someone who, if you are able to allow them to match your tempo and like keep the aggression going, then he can be very, very hard to deal with. Seth is a character that does have access to it, having access to faster normals, as well as a horizontal DP, which is super relevant. A lot of characters with vertical DPs can struggle a little bit more.
Whew, if you can hear that, apparently Blue is popping off right now. But Raiden, speaking of popping off, is doing spectacularly in round 2 here. Oh, we did get a chain shift punish. So chain shift, I've said it a couple of times, and if you're familiar with the game or with French Bread in general, a lot of the times if you activate some of those moves, you know that it does stop time briefly. So you're able to get a brief glimpse into what your opponent is trying to do. And that's essential to regaining your turn back if you've been on the defensive.
And there we go. That's that horizontal DP that I was talking about.
Right.
So a lot of vertical DPs, they actually get blown up by the bomb because they lose their invulnerability by the time it's there. Seth escapes out of it and gets a good advantage just like that after blocking a 2-2X.
Raiden, who we just saw doing very, very well, who won Melty Blood, now working on the next French Bread title here, seeing how far they can get in this bracket even though they are on the loser's side. Cut the neck, throw the Carmine. Wow, that was a great setup. Sheesh.
All right, orb set once again. Now you're just playing the strike throw, trying to catch out those shield habits, trying to figure out where they're going, but not able to find it. So Borderlands gets a chance to take their turn back, but hit with the backside of that JB. And now using the new 6FF right there to re-vacuum them in. I'm curious to see if Raiden has any of the new force function setups that exist, but no, they're just sticking with Orb right now. They don't want to do anything too crazy.
No. Sometimes the essentials is really all you need. Good tech on that.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, but what a counter hit coming out from Borderlands.
Yeah. They're good. It was really good recognition to see that was still during hit stun. So you were able to get out of the gold throw. Oh, no, bomb hit.
Ooh, that was... Man, honestly, that was kind of Raiden's game to lose, and they lost.
Yeah, I think they were looking to like dash block, but it was just right at the exact time Borderlands was pressing during those dash block attempts out of the corner.
Yeah, overhead coming out here.
Bomb set. You have to be very careful. Puddle moved over. Yeah. Yeah, you have to be. Borderlands is getting away with a lot of these puddle set or these bomb sets right there. Which, if you see that flash, you have to try to be able to challenge it. It's always going to be very, very like scary to just allow that on there because bomb is what enables all the fuzzy options that Borderlands or the Carmine has available to them.
Exactly. Winning a huge grid cycle here is Borderlands too. If they choose to change shift, they'll they don't even have to.
Yeah.
They don't have to. There could have been so much there, but they're coming into this with a significant amount of EXS available to them. Raiden gets hit overhead, and then just the grab, and golly, there's just things flying everywhere.
Yeah, had the puddle set, so when they went for pinwheel, there's one on the ground and one in the air. Thankfully, they were able to figure out a way to get out of that situation, as well then finding an opportunity to get their hit of their own. All right, set, TK orb. Good throw right there.
Yeah, the orb did come out. Big puddles used up from Borderlands, and Okay, one hit.
Yeah.
I expected the throw. There it is. But not
no.
dead yet. The veil off is punished, though.
Yeah, I thought that throw was going to kill.
I thought
it
so,
was just
too.
right at the very edge
It was
right
one
there.
pixel, man. That was crazy.
Yeah, good. Borderlands has been flashing that shield so frequently in those situations because you want to try to pressure them off. You want to try to build that cycle. So Raiden just coming in to go for the throw right there, getting the grid break so they'll have a guaranteed cycle in their favor this time and that extra damage.
Gosh. Raiden doing a great job setting up orbs, getting these full combos coming out. Borderlands has to be careful. Actually, I don't know if they have to do anything because I'm pretty sure they're dead after this.
Yeah.
Throw, not going to finish it, though.
Nope, so just CS into CDP right there. Gonna be Raiden tying it up 1-1.
In case, I mean, I keep mentioning in case you're unfamiliar, but in case you're unfamiliar with Carmine, he does have to spend his own health to use his specials. So that's why sometimes you'll be like, he didn't get hit that much. Why is he dying?
Yep, and that's something you'll see a lot come through the mid portion of the game where Carmine's actually going to be a little bit more careful because they can turn. You can be like, oh no, if my opponent throws me, I die because I had to use so many specials just to get in right there.
Right.
All right, bomb set. Good recognition on these overheads from Raiden, but yeah, you can't challenge like that when the bomb set is right there.
No, you can't. That's so huge.
See pinwheel.
Yeah, there was a brief CS in there as well from Borderlands, but the pinwheel coming out went for the double overhead and then got a little bit of a low with a counter hit and then opens up with a low once again.
Yeah, you saw. So they went for a overhead land, go overhead again. Raiden had tried to check with a 2A, but unfortunately wasn't timed on it. And there we go, big grid break grab.
Yes, that was huge.
Pinwheel set.
That you have so many things to watch out for, and the pinwheel when it's coming back at you and you have things on the floor coming towards
and
you.
Here we are. Bloodhouse was set, had a bomb set behind, so you get to play a dangerous strike throw game. Oh my goodness!
He's just jumping. He's the Borderlands jumping bean.
Yeah.
But Raiden does get a hit in and gets the orb set up, jailed in the middle of the air. But
Yeah.
Borderlands still has a huge advantage.
Now you're seeing, the patience. Once you have the orb set, wasn't ready to commit to the second orb after the throw. EX command grab. Gonna slurp them up to Borderlands, taking it 2-1 over Raiden.
That was a great set, though.
Oh, yeah, it was fantastic. Fantastic. Sorry, Raiden, you can only top 8 2 French bread events. You can't
Only
win both.
2. I just what a bore. You seriously suck. Thanks, Carmine. Wow. Way to be that guy. Carmine is so edgy.
He is so edgy, but fun Undernight lore fact. Did you know that Carmine's powers aren't his blood?
Yes, I
Yes,
did know
yes.
that because he's like, it's my blood and I'm so anemic, and it's not.
It's not. He hurts himself because he mentally thinks it does.
If I think it is true. I'm so edgy.
But that's why we love him.
Yeah, he is an edgy boy, and he's great.
He is great.
I just think it's the Undernight lore is so deep, but some of it's very endearing.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Some of it's very dark, but I mean a lot of it is very dark.
I was going to say a lot. I think it's majoritarily dark.
Yeah,
but
there's just a couple characters that you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're like,
You're just a silly little guy. And you're
not say and just, I'm gonna get my revenge on Hyde Keto. What the heck did Hyde do to you?
And then Tsurugi now coming in and being like, get away from my boy.
That's my boy, and I've got a door to prove it. He's mine. Tsurugi of the student council.
Yeah,
just,
the student council president himself.
I love that. I mean, yeah, I think the world of Undernight is really interesting, and the depth and just storytelling that it goes through is really cool. And now having Kuon in the game, a character that has been around, but it's now playable.
He was around if you count hanging out in a cocoon as being around.
Yeah, I mean he's hanging.
He was hanging. But here we go. LPT having to get through the Eltnum gauntlet on the loser side to try to be able to make it out.
But again, this is the very different Eltnum that we saw, the more gunshot focused one.
And it's more akin to your ST Eltnums because that's where Grant was a lot more focused on in the game. And then Nico I know was picking the game up more during Claire, so able to learn some of the ways that Claire Eltnum's people like Prem, people like OmniD were playing the game. Here we go. Good stagger pressure right there. And LPT just willing to stay very defensive.
Looks like they were going for a grab there, but
yeah, you always have to be careful with the assault throw like mix-up that happens right there, and just sometimes you guess wrong. You can cover it with some good OSs, but it's changed up a little bit. So if you're not all warm on your muscle memory, you might not be used to it.
I loved that reset. It was not the typical Eltnum combo in the end, so there was, I mean, it wasn't a reset. I'm sorry, I used the wrong terminology there. But instead of going into the kicks and then in the gunshot, it was just gunshot, gunshot into the grab so you could secure the round.
Yeah, I think they were looking for the gunshots to kill there because that's mostly what the meter dump does, but just in case they had us burn that extra 100 and cash out quickly. But you already see, like, look, oh, you had to burn 100.
There it is again,
It's 10 seconds into the round, and we already have it back. Good VO, strips the Vorpal cycle right there. Found a 5C, or 5B, but not able to get a full connection right there.
No, not able to. And I really thought the backdash was smart from Eltnum, but didn't end up working out for them. Got the grid break. Now LPT fully in control, going to be able to set up all of these webs. Usually he gets 4. Yep, there's the 4. One on the floor.
Yep. And then it caught him out with that. We set another one on the floor. Oh, found a big hit right there. And J2C, JC gonna be able to connect right at the very end for LPT.
Yeah, and that was a really clutch use of the chain shift right before the grid cycle had shifted over because they had so much grid, and they filled it up so that they had enough EXS coming into this round. It was a great way to utilize that.
It's a grand recognition of the grid systems. And it's something that you have to be very important of, especially the further you get down the line with this game. It's like it's a bell curve of like the grid's the most important. Grid doesn't matter. Grid's the most important.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but here we go. Good staggers, good blocks on the overhead. Gunshot trying to keep it safe. You saw a nice green shield trying to push block them out, but unfortunately, FU or Grant couldn't find the confirm right there. But they will find this one.
Yeah, this is great combo out of Eltnum here. And then chain shift right into this. I love that you can shift the way that jump works so that you're back into the corner. Veil off coming off huge from LPT. Counter hit though. The gunshots miss. And then the C, the 2-2C is double 2-2C actually.
Yeah, it's a very effective tool, especially versus a character like Eltnum who's going to be trying to push off from the full side of the screen, trying to go for gunshots, but it's not fully going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, staggering out right now, and a great throw to confirm it at the very end right there. That's great, taking the first game. Trying to show LPT what's up,
Yeah, I cracked up in the middle of that because I heard somebody yell, "We are so back!" And I'm so happy to see that. Great launcher combo here into the air, and then again that 6-6B doing a great job getting Eltnum into the corner. These backdashes from LTT, again, risky, but they're working out. Counter hit with the invincibility.
Yeah, and now staggering it. I really like this recognition of constantly seeing the overheads coming through. I'd love to see a potential press on the overhead instead, because there is that gap that you can, and Byakuya is very good at picking up these straight air hits that you can see. There you go. 623C, it is an EX command grab, so you do have the ability to be able to get out of some sticky situations like that, and now you should be able to build it up. No triple web set right there, but we'll just charge to get the cycle. Assault?
No, not assault. Big combo, and the side switch to try and push over. Stood up just in time. Such great blocking from LPT.
Yeah, good blocks, good gold. Out right there. No, but found the 5A confirm right there. LPT had the cycle, but didn't have a chance to use it just yet.
No, that is heartbreaking, honestly, because everything was coming up LPT, but not anymore. And now gunshots coming in. Ooh, and I like that, getting the chain shift to get the corner in a good reload with all of those bullets, but LPT is out of the corner now and getting the web set up. And one more here, so just going for damage and only got one web because it was already there, and the counter hit immediately.
Yeah, EX cutting sync right there, going to be able to push him fully out. Side swaps, AA, reload. Good CS. Oh, tried to throw him, but immediately went for dive kick OS right there. Great stuff to be able to keep it into your favor.
Big kick here, and
IW,
you're
dead.
Oh, you are all the way dead. I want to see how much. 4.8K basically. Man. Moving on into the next round.
Yep. Moving forward over into our loser semis portion of the bracket where they will be fighting DFAxCalamity. But before that, we get to see Knots versus brkrdave on the winners finals.
We're right next to you. Can I get Knots versus brkrdave? I don't know. I don't know. Can we?
Can we? No, I demand it.
I demand it.
Also, once again, I said this earlier when he was playing the Persona bracket. I don't know if it was like surgery or an accident or something, but brkrdave has been on crutches and is in a foot cast.
Yes, a very big
day.
one. But
still here to game, still here to try to secure these tournament wins.
So we're going to get the Waldstein back on screen with the brkrdave and then Knots with the Seth.
Yes, there is. Okay, I highly doubt it. We know Knots is a Wagner player. They could, pull it out. And Wagner and Wald is a matchup that is kind of like hard for Wald because a lot of your Wagner can space herself out in a. They both play a close game, but Wagner can space herself out and be at these like minus situations that she's very favored to pressing. So there is an argument for that. There's also the Knots Kuon that we saw exist. I don't think we will see that. I think we're going to see this. But anything is possible. We could also see brkrdave Merkava. That is another thing that could come out. The world is our oyster when it comes to these players and the characters that they want to select. But we are going to be seeing Seth and Waldstein. The canonical battle of Linnea's bodyguard and the person who wants to kidnap Linne. But they don't anymore.
That's why I love in BB Tag the Linne Wald intro. Okay.
Yeah, so we're just getting right into it. No button checking, an early pickup right here in the swipes.
I like it's a literal pickup. He just goes yoink. He's the claw machine man.
Yep, 360. And this is a big thing with this matchup. As you see, like I was talking about, Wald deals a truckload of damage, a metric truckload even.
Yeah, it's measured. A measured metric truck.
And Seth, being a lower health character, has the ability to just like die in a hit quicker than a lot of other characters. So you have to be very, very careful. And if brkrdave has your number, like right now in this early stage, we're looking at potentially a double perfect, but no, a nice 2A right there. Got to be able to give Knots the chance they need to start the party.
And this is where you can see more of the success of what Seth can do against a character like Waldstein. Because again, on paper, Wald hits real bad, and this is one of those situations. You don't think it's going to scale as much as it does, and then that last hit comes in, and it's an extra 1,000 damage, which is massive. But Knots coming in now, getting these orb setups, and then the grab into this. I love the grab into the air setup because it just benefits Seth so much. Hard knockdown at the end, but brkrdave
was ready for the air teleport right there, which you've been seeing. Like a lot of Seths like to go for that in general, but just going for swipes, which covers your front as well as above you. Oh, a nice dash normal right there. Going to be able to like find an early hit against Seth, but not finding a stronger pickup. Knock him down, set it one more time. What do? We go with the 5A.
Yeah. Seth has to work so much harder than Waldstein does in this situation just because of the way that the damage works.
Yeah.
I mean, he can put out another truckload of damage, but it's a very small truck in comparison.
And Waldstein has, eats his Wheaties every morning. He's a very healthy boy.
He sure is. You got to be able to support those arms.
Tried to go for swipes again, but was already like crossed up with it with the 63B. And this is now you're seeing the inverse, right? You saw that brkrdave had like full control over it, but now Knots is gaining a lot. Green shield right there is very scary because the wall can't just hit you with something like that.
Yet guarding the airspace is brkrdave, and then a grid break. Again, that risk that you're talking about, that's heartbreaking. And brkrdave just has everything going in their favor. Slam down, hard knockdown once again, but Knots weaving in and out and able to open it up.
Yeah, missed the ender right there. So Knots found the Fuzzy Abare 2C, the legend that we all know Seth players know how to do, and was able to capitalize it into a strong hit, set with an orb set, found another air confirm, but the orb was slightly too slow, so they couldn't get the full pickup that they were looking for.
Ooh, there was a brief green shield, and then we're going to use the creeping edge to get out of the corner, and brkrdave going to put a big chunk of damage onto this one. All right. Ooh, this is really risky. The side switch to try and mix things up misses the grab, and now Knots is in there getting a setup, has 200 EXS, though they could get a lot of damage out of here, especially with some kind of combo extender, and has Celestial.
Yeah, you're going to mostly probably see that for like a meter game right there. Great jump out on reaction to the 360C right there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yo, IWEX.
Oh, I haven't seen this one in a very long time.
It's so good.
Oh, yeah, because he's just edgy boy.
He's the edgy boy. It's his 1,000 cuts. I don't know if that's what it's called.
But that does bring us to a 1-1 here. This is going to be a 3 out of 5, just as a reminder,
yes,
generally.
This is our winners finals. You know, the amount of times I'm like, oh, yeah, that's just how tournament formats work. That's what everybody knows. But so many games, there's like being 3 out of 5. And then,
yes,
you
that's true. Yeah. So it is always worth mentioning.
Yes, it is always worth mentioning. It's like it's always worth finding these kind of hit confirms if you're not looking to try to win this round right here. Good CS, trying to get them mixed up, but there, so brkrdave was just blocking. No shields to be able to get a big punish.
Yeah.
And as the stagger comes through, you do find a green
yeah,
shield.
I was going to say, brkrdave is using those green shields pretty liberally right now, so if Knots was able to find that and get the grid break, it'd be a great way to get a foothold and an advantage even more in this, and then you could see it just right there.
Oh, try to go for a quick little dash check right there, but was already prepped to grab him and put him down once again.
Big slam coming in there. brkrdave respecting the space, but trying to find the opening. Now you're going to get this big hit here.
Yeah, only 360C, so we'll have to burn the CS to get the combo out. It's a good combo, right? But you're not getting the good knockdowns that you get off the 720.
No.
Hits him with the 6C right there, already prepping for the anti-air option, and now tied it back up in this round with a perfect.
I almost marked that down as a win, but it's not. We're still in this. brkrdave throwing out those claps, trying to get Knots and smoosh him like a little fly, but Knots opens him up once again, getting this combo that I love watching every single time. I just think it's so beautifully executed.
So cool. It's so cool. Seth is so cool.
There's so many edgy boys in this game.
Untitled is the most chuny game on the market, so that's what you're looking for. It's available now. $49.99. No shipping or handling.
All handling in this one. That's what Waldstein is.
Yeah, he's got the big meaty hands right there. All right, good CS, yeah, so hits with the 63C to be able to get the punish. That's going to be Knots up 2-1.
Knots is kind of crushing it, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he's looking very, very solid. You know, it is, like I said, these two are legacy Undernight players at this point, so being able to use that knowledge, knowing how these characters work, but both of them sort of with the characters that are not traditional to them if you're only watch like their major tournament results. Here we go. Oh, had a green shield right there, but brkrdave was not ready to confirm into the 360C, so that's actually huge to push him back and would have gave Knots a chance. brkrdave was already ready for that next re-up attempt.
Space goes coast to coast, and then, golly, Knots is finding these openings because they are big openings, but you have to not be afraid of the Waldstein pressure.
Yeah.
And just the threat of this character that can put out so much constantly. But Knots is very speedy in comparison.
All right, and there's the 5AB right there off the CS. Nice use of the creeping edge to get out of there, but Knots almost had the full pickup as the punish afterwards.
Ooh, there was a brief shield, which is always really risky, but the orb setup does come out from Knots, and gets another orb setup again, jailed once more, and just beautiful use of the spacing.
And into the IW to confirm it.
Ooh, Knots. I mean, every time I feel like brkrdave has a round, Knots just finds the smallest opening and makes it, just blasts the door.
Oh, that's huge right there. Swipes is generally safe on block unless you have the timing to shield punish it, which Knots was able to do it on reaction and now has a big, big rev there. And that's the kind of stuff I want to be seeing more. The new use of his jumping force function. It sets up a little orb that changes the direction of things. You can use it to create something like proxy guard.
Woo, Veil off.
Breaking OSs.
Yeah. The Veil off came out and sent Knots into the corner, but I wanted more from that. I really did. Yeah,
you tend to try to want more. It was a weird timing because it was like right towards the end of a cycle as well, so it stripped them of VO, but then they immediately gained it back. Cycle charge wars right here. It's going to go into Knots' favor, and that's been the big thing. Is like finding these opportunities with CS I think, been what Knots has like needed
Yes.
to close these games out.
Oh, man. Sometimes it's really difficult to follow Seth's movement just because, I mean, and that is indicative of the character, but a great job from Not securing their space in Grand Finals for Uni 2.
Yeah. Staying on the winner side, getting that guaranteed second place at least. So, excellent stuff there. But now we have our loser semis coming up.
No, we don't. We actually rose the. Oh, no, you're right. It is loser semis.
Yeah.
I am just. You have the bracket in front of you. I have the bracket in front of me. I always.
It's a long day.
It is a long day, and sometimes I forget loser semis is where it is just because the word.
Yeah, it's always weird with it because like it's technically losers round 1 is the start of top 8. It's not like the quarters.
Yeah, it's not the quarters, and I get confused. I'm so confused sometimes.
I get confused as well. Don't worry.
Okay, good. I'm not worried.
You're not alone in the confusion.
Great.
We are reaching 11:30 Western. If you're on the East Coast and you're watching this, thank you.
Yeah,
it's like 2:30 in the morning.
It is 2:30 because my iPad is still on East Coast time, and I'm like, it's late. So my brain is very confused, but does not matter. We are running actually quite smoothly, to be perfectly honest.
Once we got into the top 8, too many people are good at too many games, so it caused some delays on the pool side of things, but we are here in the thick of it now.
We are running, so I know Blazblue is running right now. They're in the losers finals of that. BB Tag is running right now. They're in losers round 1 over there. Speaking of losers round 1. And now we are here in the losers semis.
Yeah. Wrapping up for the night. We're getting towards the end.
We're getting the chaos.
Okay, yeah, so they are playing chaos. All right.
Yay! So Calamity on the chaos. I'm really excited to see this because I feel like this character doesn't get as much screen time.
Yes, it's very much a like specialist character, and there was really only a couple active chaoses in North America for a long time. We're seeing more, and especially with like Trill coming back and playing again has been a huge rep.
Yeah, but getting right into it, I feel like the Calamity catching Eltnum a bit by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it's something if you're not actively prepared for what Chaos is doing, especially in this version of the game, because there's a lot of new tools like Ozzy now can wall cling, which creates new mix-up opportunities. The whole 2-2X, if you're not familiar with how that works in Clear, being able to open you up like that.
Oh, that fireball that hit my soul.
Yeah.
That was actually huge. Ooh, I feel like that was a really risky jump in. And now actually they're being punished pretty heavily.
Oh, that was a weird like side swap that happened in the air, or like air turn that happened. So Calamity almost had the full pickup on that, but they'll find it off of this. Set with an Aussie sandwich.
Ooh. Yeah, that's actual. Oh my gosh, this is so intense. So Chaos, when he doesn't have Ozzy out, I mean, there are options and there are tools, but he is a puppet character, and so he is much more lukewarm.
I can remember. Oh, solid confirm. I compare him a lot to Relius and Blazblue or Persona characters, where he's not like a Zato or a Carl Clover or a BB Tag cross combo, where you're kind of like in control and like doing a lot with the individual puppet. It's more you are making them take actions while you are the one who has to open them up while those actions are happening.
Precisely. That's such a great way to describe it. So in the beginning there was a lot of damage coming out from Eltnum, but it didn't end up staying that way. Creeping edges being really clutch for a lot of these corner situations, which, I mean, you do get out. It's not for free, but you do get out.
Yeah, you do get out, but if your opponent gets a hard read, you actually get brutally punished for it, so you have to be very, very careful.
You do. You can't use it all the time.
All right. Blocks in the overhead. Good.
Okay. And then blocks the overhead again. Going to go for a loan out. No, we're going to get the creeping edge out, and then the throw is going to close it.
Yeah, was ready for that run-up throw immediately afterwards.
Yep. I also appreciate the original Eltnum outfit color because it's great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I am obviously a huge Eltnum fan.
No way.
No, it couldn't be me. It couldn't be my favorite fighting game character of all time.
Oh, nice 660 right there. Or 660, sorry.
Yep, gunshots again, kick afterwards, and then the dive kick into the gunshots, and then EX right into this, back into the corner, going to get a reload, perfect reload as well.
Nice
oh my God, Calamity!
Yeah, Calamity was just ready to immediately challenge. There's that wall clean we were talking about, but a good CSDP will close it out now, tying at 1-1. This is loser semi, so we're back to 2 out of 3.
Oh, that was the DP. Whew. Okay, we
Yeah.
are going to go to Mika now. I don't think that's the worst choice in the world.
No, I think, like, Mika generally is able to, like, Chaos, if you're not, like, doing some of the crazy stuff, it can be a little hard, especially if you're not, consistently practicing with them.
Right.
Mika is someone who enables, like, just a very solid strike throw game plan, very good buttons, good mix-up tools. So if you're feeling a lot more confident in that, you can definitely make it work.
Whoa, the gunshot caught that run-up so far away. It's another advantage that Eltnum has against a lot of the characters in this cast. And then hit with the overhead. That kick is so ambiguous, and if you don't know that it's coming for you, you're going to get hit pretty hard. All of the gunshots are used, and then you're going to go ahead and shift into this with the perfect reload as well. Everything is kind of coming up Eltnum right now.
Yeah, and that's what, like, that's what you'd want to try. But however, Mika is a very squirrely character. You give her an inch, she's gonna take a country mile.
She really is, and she's doing that right now with spending 100 EXS as. Oh, and challenged the DP too.
Yeah,
this was a good switch.
She's able to whiff cancel into the her EX DP. Now using the new 66FF, I think it's the input. One of her new force functions that she has access to makes her very scared. And nice use of the command grab right there.
You get a hard knockdown, but the creeping edge once again.
The creeping edge is so good versus Mika specifically because if you shield her while she's doing Mika missile, she cannot do the follow-ups on it. So creeping edge gives you a side swap that punishes on a shield as well. And now you see Calamity not even letting that bother them at all, using the 5BB. Oh no, doesn't go for the good mix.
No, okay. Spin to win. Change shift afterwards, breakdown. Calamity with that change is going to take it. But I did love that we got to see Chaos.
Yes, we did.
I really do.
We did get to see Chaos.
Oh, that was so edgy.
Every time I hear Chaos, I think of the Jack Final Fantasy. It's just
yes. I love Stranger of Paradise.
I haven't finished it. I'm like a couple hours into it, but I'm loving every bit of it so far.
Do you play with Japanese or EN voices?
English.
Okay. Because the Japanese Jack is the same voice actor as Vlav. And it's so good.
That's so good. That's so good.
I really, really love that game. It is a phenomenal game. Anyway, this is also a phenomenal game.
This is the best game.
And we are back with brkrdave.
Yeah.
Because losers semis means we're already in losers finals. This is flying.
It is definitely going very quickly, and we are reaching the end of this bracket, reaching the end of the event. Bringing the chaos back out, I do like that. I think Mika Wald is can be a little hard sometimes for the Mika. And Chaos gets actually a lot of mileage with Ozzy onto Wald, as he doesn't have the fast normals to be able to challenge it. His fastest normal being a 6-framer, and his fastest low being a 7-framer.
I like, too, that with Ozzy being out, it's a different kind of threat, and his movement is it's very wily, so
Yep.
Dave is having a difficult time getting a grasp onto anything that is actually meaningful. But using that new move, that double down stomp,
The 360A whiffed right there, right at the max range, but even Calamity thought it was going to hit, so not able to find a punish on it. Body splash, CS.
Right over Ozzy, too. Ozzy was in a different zip code when that happened.
Yeah, which is traditionally where you want Ozzy a lot of the times. You want them to be away so you can get a 2-2X set and you get some nice sandwiches. But right now, those sandwiches have expired. But Ozzy's back. VO baited.
Oh, that is so big. Sorry. The sandwich expired kind of got me. I was like, oh, no. But you're exactly right. Using that VO, which was baited, which is huge. There was a green shield, and I thought they were going to have that grid break in there, but not quite. brkrdave living on a hope and a dream.
No.
But Ozzy wants those dreams, and he's going to eat them.
Yeah, and that's like you saw right there with the creeping edge. Oh, great jump in. Safe, shielding it right now, trying to be able to find an opportunity to take their turn. Goes low this time. And brkrdave taking the first round on a pixel.
Something that I want to point out, which may or may not have been noticed by newer players is that when you shield successfully, you will push your opponent back a little bit. And there was a moment where brkrdave couldn't get a good handhold in because of the way that Calamity was using their shield. And I think that was really excellent use of that mechanic.
Yeah, you have to like shield because green shield pushes them back, blue shield reduces 2 frames of hit stun, so you have to be able to weave between those to find the exact right opportunity. And you needed to punish things, but sometimes if you mess it up, you push block them when you don't mean to. And brkrdave quickly ended that second game with a perfect.
Yeah, I looked down to write things down, and brkrdave won. So do we have this? Enkidu?
Okay, yeah.
So to me, this seems really risky because Enkidu's range is non-existent. He does have a parry.
You can't parry grabs.
This is true.
I
was like, he does have a parry. So what are...
That is what it is. 6FF, his new move, covers a lot of those air options. So if you're expecting a body splash, you can just 6FF on reaction. While it is not a traditional anti-air, it auto parries during its active frames.
This is so cool. Because, I mean, and that's the cool thing about Uni, is that you have to take their force functions into account.
Yep. And there you see another great use of it right there, but this time as a poke tool. Got the counter hit off of it, but no startup. And just went for TK body flash during that.
Yeah, this is big. I still like the idea of the Enkidu, especially because of that force function that you had highlighted so expertly. But we're getting wall to wall.
Yeah,
You're going to visit every corner of this gigantic establishment.
There we go.
What a little hop kick to maintain the distance and just be a little bit confusing.
Yep, so they had the shield on EX swipes, so they were actually able to punish it using the 6-6B, and it's a great starter for them. Oh, counter hit 5A.
Ooh.
That was big. That's another big thing, is that if the Kidu's actually able to stay in close to the pressure, 5A enables some very scary TRM setups that you do have to be worried about.
Oh, and there's that new move that knocked Calamity out of that charge that they were kind of boldly doing over on the other side.
2-2C should get the full pickup right here. Another thing that I didn't even think of until just right now is that if the wall is just going for 2-2Xs and you're at the right spacing, Enkidu can 3C because it's projectile invuln.
We did
roll through it. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, grid break, but the veil off coming out from brkrdave to establish the spacing. They were able to use that new moveset on the ground to get the stomp, and now it has grabs. Calamity blocks at that time and then just goes straight through.
Yeah, the 6FF being such a good tool to challenge when you're trying to come close like that. And Calamity making this Enkidu pick work, now taking a game.
I think this is really cool because, I mean, some people are Enkidu down players, and I'm seeing a lot of really great options from him right now.
You're talking to somebody who lives in a region with CG. There is no downplay for this character. It is he definitely has some struggle, but one big thing with Enkidu is he deals roughly 1,000 damage more per combo. He's like Coma in Melty Blood, if you say that.
Yeah.
He's just going to deal more damage.
Ooh, that counter was sick, and another bait. Or was it just a challenge?
No, so that was like CS parry on there, and then immediately challenging into it.
Excellently
360C gets a nice head knockdown on it. Good tech out. CS, though, keep your turn. 5A to anti-air to them, and now just keeping the pressure going. 2CC into 2-2C, stay plus.
Yeah, the creeping shield to get out of the corner, but brkrdave finally getting an opportunity. Tries to go in for a slam there. What do we have?
Yeah.
Oh, another little charge afterwards.
And there you go. That's the full charge on the 6FF. Should be enough to close it out right here with spending the meter on the 236C. Calamity showing what's up.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. And I do like, too, that you have such great experience with the Enkidu because you're in a region that has a fabulous player like that. And so you're getting to see this character really shine.
Yeah, it's a character that I think was a little underrated until like people realize like, oh, you just have to optimize his damage, and he makes him like kind of crazy. He does like I said, he does have his downsides, but it's not something to worry about. I love that 2-2B like CS trying to get him to bait out and just going back into 2-2B.
Stomp once again. brkrdave finding a little bit of a handhold here in an opening. Gonna get the wall all the way over to here, and then slam down.
Yeah, hit with the SPD, but charge 5C going to hit him overhead with that. And then just immediately cash out into the IW to close it out. Calamity now up 2-1. And Calamity's laughing right now.
Yeah, Calamity's just like, I'm doing well. No character switch. I mean, I wouldn't really expect that from brkrdave.
There's a chance the Merkava comes out. Merkava Enkidu is definitely a little bit more rough for the Enkidu than within a character matchup thing. But if you haven't been practicing the Merkava, you don't want to be picking that because it's very setup reliant on making that character work.
Yeah.
Oh, 6C not going to connect.
No. Ooh. I feel like, okay, we finally got an opening. I was going to say I felt like it was very calm in comparison to what we had been seeing. And then stomps once again. The side switch comes out. There was a brief shield in there, but oh my gosh, that was genius.
Yeah, using the TKC dive kick right there after being in the air. Getting a great opportunity. Oh, nice to hold after the CS, trying to catch him. Guessing and finds the quick air-to-air confirm. Calamity only 1 round away from taking it over brkrdave.
And with this Enkidu pick,
Yep.
I think it's fantastic.
I mean, they want that run back against Knots, who knocked him out in the first round of this this top 8.
Yeah, they really, really do. That Seth being a terror
Oh.
so far. Oh, but this could be devastating for Calamity.
Yeah.
Get thrown in.
This is not only a 360 C starter. This is 360 C CS, which is one of Wald's better starters, and it was a grid break, so you get bonus damage on it. It's just a recipe for disaster right there.
It is, and quite a bit of trouble. Ooh, a little bit of backdash. Could have caught that. The Calamity being very bold with these charges that they're getting, and I think because brkrdave is just out of reach and is going to take a second to get there.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, figuring it out as it's going on, but very, very quick to adapt. That's 10 push-ups right there. You did not tech that command grab. brkrdave tying it up.
I'll do 10 push-ups. I'll have to record it for you. I'll send it to you. Because I didn't block that. That's for daggone sure.
All right, good use of the 6FF. Fighting the counter hit, so it gets no havoc damage on it, though.
Carried into the corner once again, the throw to end it. And again, charging, making sure that they always have grid to do what they want to.
Oh, that was, like, towards the right end of the active frames on there.
Oh, snatched!
Yeah, that is the important thing. Is like you're seeing use of the 6FF and the charge 6FF, as well as like even 214A, but it loses to grab. So if you can find a way that they're being predictable and hit them with those SPDs, you're going to get a lot of mileage out of it. But here we go, 2-2B, you're plus, 2-2B, you're not plus because you're getting CS, EX, SPD.
Yeah, my goodness.
But that did let the cycle go over to Calamity as brkrdave was still in no grid gain penalty.
No, that is, yeah. Very, very good call out on that so that we could all, understand what was happening in that moment. brkrdave, what's going on? Oh, there was a little bit of a shield in there. Is this, yeah. I don't even need to finish that. Yes. So now up at 2-2, brkrdave and Calamity.
But Calamity's gone back. They're like, okay, they got the download. Are we bringing out the secret 5th character?
Thinking. I don't even want to say anything. Really? Oh, your face says what? Okay, what do you know? What do you know? Spill the beans.
So.
Okay, no.
Okay. I overheard that someone saying that, quote, SoCal has no Hildas, so no one knows how to play against that character.
That's because Midwest has all the Hildas.
I know.
We got Hildas and spades.
So it's like, so there was like, do you just pick Hilda and hope that brkrdave doesn't know how to fight it? But if anyone in SoCal is going to know how to fight that character, it's going to be brkrdave. It's going to be brkrdave and Knots. So I wouldn't bring him out versus those two.
No, definitely not. This is just battle of the big arms. That's what this is. It's an arms race.
Insane a scene.
No.
It's yeah. All right. Well,
I'm good. I love it. All right. Wow, what a challenge there from Calamity. Goodness. Ooh, but
the 6-6B confirm at the 6-6 for the very end with IW. You have that meter. You might as well use it. Try to tie it back up.
Oh my God, that was so much damage. I was afraid for Mika's poor tiny little body, but Calamity does get that win.
Yeah. That's putting them only 1 point away. Late shield on there, but still able to keep themselves safe after that. It's always very scary when the EX Mika missile comes. You kind of have to just like hope and pray unless you have the right counterplay for it.
Yes. Corner combo coming in here. Woo.
Yeah, TKCS. If you're expecting a grab coming out, which a lot of Mikas would want to be like looking for a grab right there, it's a great option to keep yourself safe. Missile didn't connect right there. That could have been a big punish.
It could have been really huge. Oh, tech on the throw coming out. brkrdave trying to make their way back into this. They're doing a really great job. Now they are in the advantageous corner position. They just built up 100 EXS, so if they want to, they can use it, but they have to save it for the next round. Final game, final round.
It is anybody's match. This has been going back and forth this whole time.
The adjustments that we've been seeing on the fly and the learning in real time has been so incredible to watch.
Oh, those green shields were so scary, but brkrdave wasn't ready to go for the dash throws on them. Just Mika missile get away. Was trying to, I think, like do something to steal the cycle. There we go. Hits with the dash low.
Run up, creating pressure. What's coming out? Change shift to see what was going on. A little bit of charge, just jumps over, but unfortunately gets grabbed by Calamity, getting slammed back from whence they came. Oh, just standing, waiting to see what happens, and oh, that was so smart.
Yep. With canceling into EX Tornado, and now baiting that VO, getting a huge punish. As long as Calamity keeps it tight, which they should just CVO right here.
CVO. Oh, that was so good. Calamity.
DFA Calamity.
DFA Calamity. Bruh.
Yep. Making it all the way back, losing to Knots in the beginning of this top 8, and now being able to fight them yet again in our grand finals.
I love it when it's all storybook and it just works out so well.
Makes it.
Yes, Knots. So as a reminder, like you just said, went down in a clean 2-0.
In a clean 2-0. I could potentially see, DFA Calamity's a little bit more warmed up now.
I agree.
Right? Like some of the winners had a little bit to wait. So, it's like if you weren't grinding Uni or Calamity was in another game. Were they in Blazblue right before this?
Don't remember off the top
I want to
of
say
my
they were in
head.
another game right before this, so having to jump between multiple games can also throw people off. But you're definitely looking at someone who's a little bit more warmed up now. They're definitely feeling a lot more confident in their play, and I think that's those sets over brkrdave really helped, push them forward.
I mean, brkrdave is such a huge wall to have to break through. Not to use his name on purpose in the sentence, but brkrdave is just this monument in anime fighters.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, or we were talking about it off stream, how many games was he in? Unfortunately, second to Jonah, but he was second in both of the Blazblues that we had here.
Yep.
Has been placing really high and, managed. I was just a hair away from being at least second in this one, but does fall out at third. Now we are getting into it, our grand finals.
Yep, and this is not Byakuya. This is another semi-known quantity. That the secret is every Undernight player has a Byakuya. You have one combo and you know how to play against this character, and he's going to be very efficient. Especially this is very late at night. Everyone's a little tired. It's going to be a little bit harder to pilot through things. And if you just go set play, you got to play some very basic strike throw. It's going to be pretty clean for that player. However, it's up to Calamity to see if they know how to fight and deal with the chaos.
I'm really liking all of the different versions of Creeping Edge and how successful that can be, because it's always nice to see a new system mechanic being utilized to its fullest extent. But Knots Byakuya he's doing spider things, and he does get the grid break there as well. Oh, that was such a great setup with the web and then with the 2-2, I believe it was a 2-2B, to knock into that and just maintain the pressure. And Calamity just hasn't gotten a chance to get Ozzy out.
Yeah, I'm just constantly finding these opportunities to
there
strike Ozzy.
Is.
There's the wall cling, but proxy guard keeping yourself safe. Goes left, right.
Yeah, chain shift, grab once again. It's such a great way to get rid of Ozzy, but also create pressure onto Calamity.
Yeah, and there's the delay 2C right there.
What a catch. Beautiful combo extension.
Yeah. It's Knots up 1-0. Character select. All right.
Yeah. Calamity has shown.
Bring out the Nanase. Oh, no, bring out Hilda. Okay. I don't.
Hilda for real?
Hilda
for real.
I don't hate this. I think Hilda Byakuya is like a pretty reasonable matchup. They're both characters that are going to stay pretty far apart. But automatically using that creeping edge, dealing out with the 6-6C or 6-6B ground start option is a very, very useful tool. And just Knots immediately showing, like, I know exactly what you're going to do. I am in your head. Let's see if you can get through it here. Gloom, nice dash block over there and blocks on the charge overhead.
I still, Calamity clearly can play the character, can play Hilda and pilot her, but I don't love it, compared to the other characters that we've seen him play. And I feel like unless there's something super significant, like that this could be, that it might almost be a waste of a game.
Yeah, it's always something that you have to worry about when making these kinds of character swaps.
Yeah. Ooh. Web is just sitting there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because the 2-2B whiffed, so the 2-2C was trying to punish in case Calamity decided to do anything risky. Woo, green
Great
shield.
blocks on the 50-50 right there. Oh, my goodness.
That is a lot. That could have been very, very dangerous.
Knots' defense was on point up until that pin connected right there, and a great punish on the creeping edge. This is exactly what Calamity is looking for.
And I think that's great because, great for Calamity, big confidence booster, but that's also the first time we've really seen creeping edge be punished.
Yeah, we saw it a couple times in the in one of the earlier sets, but it's something that is very, you need to use it at exact specific timings, but if your opponent's prepared for it or you use it willy-nilly, it's just not going to work for you.
Exactly. Okay, big counter hit coming out from Knots. I have got to say really, really good things about Byakuya, for Calamity's blocking, or Knots' blocking, because it has been doing very well. Okay, we got tech on the throw. The overhead does not connect. And that does, though. Ooh, but after the 2-2C, it drops.
Yeah, we're going, it went for 2-2A, which doesn't, I think, spike as high as 2-2B, so wasn't ready for it. But 2-3-6C out of the chain shift right there. Going to be used as a reversal to keep him in the corner. But a great 2A challenge right there from Calamity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, back under the other wall.
Yeah, the Gloom is that's scary. You're not worried about much as Gloom 50-50s. You're worrying now about Roomba 50-50s.
Yeah.
But you saw, Knots has just been consistently getting ready and knowing exactly where they're going to go, but you can't block every 50-50 correct.
It is a 50-50.
Do it again. Oh, yeah, this time saw the
grid
green shield flash. So knew that they were able to get a grid break and knew they were going to be able to close it out right at the very end. Calamity, point on the board.
And the thing is, too, now, Calamity is locked to this character, so Knots going to be switching to Seth now.
Which
and I also really like this.
We will be seeing a Hilda switch off shortly. Because this is
darn near guarantee it.
This is not a fun time for the Hilda player to be out to play against Seth.
No. Oh, look, we're at... I love that Jabali called this out, but it's the Wyndham Orlando pool.
Yeah, it's the CEO Taku venue.
It's the CEO Taku pool, and they got dinos. If somebody doesn't bring dinos, I will be sad.
I need to see the...
I need
it. I will bring them. If I can find them, I will put them in my suitcase.
But yes, as you highlighted, this is not fun times for Hilda. Seth is doing such a great job just systematically dismantling everything. Did get a decent throw coming out of that there, but Seth just has all of the moves to weave in and out of everything that Hilda has to throw at you.
And that's a hard part. Hilda is a character that is a little bit slower, so if you're playing a character who can beat your tempo just move for move, it's going to be very, very hard to deal with. Good CS right there. That's another thing. Hilda does not have a true reversal outside of things like Veil Off or her Infinite Worth, and you normally don't want to cash out all your meter like that, or you can. So situations like that where a normal reversal could beat it out, it's not gonna just be able to happen for you.
No. So, I mean, yes, this match is still currently going on. Calamity does have a chance at some point, but what do you think Calamity's going to go to next?
I would say Mika, right? I
think so. That's not a bad idea.
I think that is the character that they seem to be very, very, very strong with.
God.
Knots isn't Celestial at this point.
Yeah, I was going to
well,
say, this is so much damage, so many opportunities.
Do you have these? Do you have these Knots? Okay, you're not going for it. You're just doing the smart thing and using it to keep the cycle for an extra phase and then going for the grab.
Nice.
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 So one thing that's important with Celestial is if you pop it, it gives you back a ground bounce and an air action. So there are now like new routes that are possible, and we don't really know what is the full extent of it. Hey, look at that. It's Mika.
Well, I mean, I do think it was a very good call. And I do appreciate that Knots takes the opportunity to do a color switch as well.
It's the anime power-up.
It is the anime power-up. This is very, very anime color, too. Knots still doing a great job mixing Mika. The side switch coming out as the orbs are out. I mean, everything is out. Everything is coming up Knots right now. There was a green shield and a counter hit, so not going to be a perfect for Knots, but it was darn near it so far.
Yeah, but now not able to get that scramble to go in their favor at the very end, so Calamity gets to take their turn at pressure. Knots trying to shield him out right now. A great 1-7-1 to be able to deal with that. But that misses the confirm because it 8-2 ground bounces, I think.
All right.
Yeah,
Knots quickly.
Tournament
Tournament point. Calamity has to do something pretty crazy, but that veil off to stop the pressure immediately. Get off me, get away from me, goodbye.
Yep. Now we're going to see. Oh, didn't get the full confirm, but they will off this one. Good old-fashioned American resets.
And the orb coming out there, too. The veil off still active. I was going to say, you have an opportunity to put out so much damage. Even though it's red, that's 5.5K.
Yeah,
huge.
The red actually, because it was an inbound combo, helps with the rescaling, so being able to do even more damage right there. The 3 be missed.
Oh, Mika coming out with the missile, but the low, and that's going to do it. Knots is your awaited fate champion for Uni 2.
Did the right counterplay right there at the very end. That's the anti-Mika missile counterplay. It's just jump air shield. So if you're ready for it, you can blow it up just like that. And you too could win a tournament, like our hero of the story.
Our hero here today, Knots. But Calamity doing very well, and of course, brkrdave coming in at third, having placed in top 3 of multiple games on this fine Saturday here.
3 of 4 games they placed top 3.
That's
the only game they didn't was Persona.
Wow. And Persona was murderous.
And that's a game that they, quote, had not touched since 2014.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Wow, what a treat of a top 8. And then a little bit of brief of top 16 that we got to see.
We got a little bit of that top 16 towards the end and a fantastic top 8.
And so much character variety. The vast majority of it coming from Calamity, but there was so much character variety. I mean, I do love players that can play so much of the cast to a degree that is effective, and you get to see everything that they can bring to the table, not just as a player, well, actually, not just as a character specialist, but as a player who knows the fundamentals of the fighting game.
Yep, and that's very, very important. And a player like Calamity, who I will now dub a random select player, that is what you have earned with your 4 different unique characters within a top 8. You can see that it can really go the distance. And there's players like Defiant who have made a name for themselves in the early stages of Clear, being a random select player. But at the end of the day, the other random select player who played. No, they only played 2. They only played Seth and Byak.
Yeah, Seth and Byak,
only 2. Knots was able to overcome that, to beat not randomness, but the wide variety of characters that are on board and try to figure out a plan.
Difficult.
It's a difficult task. It's up to that player's adaptation and if they can do that.
But brilliant top 8. Congratulations to everybody who entered, but in particular to brkrdave, Calamity, and to Knots, because they just did such a great job playing through, powering through, and making it so that we could have this here today. That is going to wrap it up here for us on this stream. We still have some BB tag on the main stream, and I think we're just at the very end of just casuals.
Yeah.
Just casuals. No, they're chilling. But there is BB tag, so go watch the BB tag. And so I am Jadelyn.
I'm Tabby.
And we will see you next time.